Homelander forcing the Deep to eat Timothy is undeniably one of the most traumatic scenes of The Boys season 3 thus far. While Chase Crawford's character isn't very fond of many things, he does care about his aquatic creatures. It's one thing to know it happened, it's another to have to see it happen. Huey confronts Butcher about his use of the temporary Compound V in episode 4 of The Boys season 3. The others are obviously unaware, and Butcher dismisses the whole thing as a means of gathering information. As planned, Frenchie and Butcher arrive to see Nina. He gives her enough money to pay off her bills, but she wants more. Butcher tries to find a middle ground. Meanwhile, Stan Edgar approaches Newman and suggests that they pursue Homelander. Homelander is still terrified of Edgar, according to Edgar, and he's all bark with no bite. Homelander arrives to see how Starlight is doing while she is speaking with Huey. Another tense confrontation follows, with Starlight eventually departing with him after Homelander signs Huey's cast. Starlight is placed in a tough situation, prompting her to seek advice from Maeve. It's at this point that Maeve reveals that she was the one that led Butcher and the group down the Compound V rabbit hole. Maeve also admits that she is to blame for the flight's condition. She isn't afraid to die for this cause, and she is determined to bring Homelander down, no matter what it takes. Supersonic is also recruited to the cause by Starlight, who blindly dives in and resolves to support her because it is the right thing to do. Meanwhile, A-Train tries to persuade Ashley to agree to vote stopping Blue Hawk from annihilating their community. He wants to speak with Blue Hawk, but Ashley laughs at the idea and tells him they'll talk about it later. When the Deep arrives later, he destabilizes A-Train, and the entire scenario is thrown into disarray. A-Train is not pleased with his sucking up, and the two end up fighting in the corridor. Supersonic assists A-Train and converses with him discreetly in the elevator while doing so. Supersonic discusses Starlight's cause, believing that he would be a valuable contribution. In other news, the boys arrive in Russia, and Huey is frightened by the news coverage of the Homelander, Starlight, Huey love triangle. Kimiko is obliged to be a part of a large operation as part of this job in Russia. is furious that Kimiko has been placed in such a dangerous situation, and she confronts Butcher about it. Kimiko kills all of the guys she was sent to hunt down, but she is shot in the head by one of the ladies. Kimiko regenerates, but when she turns to face them all, she discovers them cowering in the corner, making her regret her actions. Despite this, she returns with everything she needs to fulfill the assignment, but it's all too much for her. Kimiko and Frenchie talk privately and decide to finish the assignment and then leave for good. Kimiko requests a trip to Marseille, which Frenchie readily accepts. Butcher plans to inject himself with another dose of Compound V as a backup plan, but Huey notices and demands some as well. He's so furious at what happened to Starlight that he can't breathe, and he's looking for a means to defend himself. Butcher argues that using this is a punishment, not a blessing, and refuses to utilize it. Meanwhile, Newman holds a press conference, claiming that Homelander is a whistleblower. That's right, she reverses the situation and stabs Stan Edgar in the back. Newman confirmed that he and Vought will face criminal charges. As it turns out, Homelander is the one who is outing Edgar by putting things straight at the corporation. It's evident that Zoe was used as a bargaining chip to get Newman to play ball, but also to amass a supply of Compound V. Zoe cries in anguish after her spine has been injected, and her sister consoles her. Butcher and the guys arrive at the property in Russia, supposedly clutching the soup gun with which to destroy Homelander. Alarms begin to sound, and the boys are escorted back. Butcher's only option is to demonstrate his abilities. "Evening CNTS," he exclaims, striding through a hail of gunshots and slaughtering everyone. Huey has also grabbed some of the compound and teleports across, killing one of the soldiers in cold blood, as we soon discover. They all turn on Huey, unwilling to believe his justifications, while Butcher uses his newfound power to break open the massive tank in the middle of the room. What about on the inside? Soldier Boy himself, to be precise. Soldier Boy fires a shot at Kimiko, propelling her through many walls. Unfortunately, she isn't healing, which is French in a panic. They all drive to the hospital, but it's unclear whether or not she will live. Homelander brings Starlight up to the rooftop at the same moment and shows her Supersonic's disfigured body. It turns out that A-Train told Homelander everything about their revolt, and he was brutally murdered as a result. Homelander threatens Huey if he breaks the rules, driving her into stunned surrender, tears flowing down her cheeks. Starlight is trapped in this horrible circumstance with Homelander, who is going increasingly insane by the day. The focus of this episode is split between the United States and Russia, with the group potentially losing Kimiko in the fight against the Russians. Given the way they were talking about quitting, I assumed it was Frenchie, but seeing Kimiko in that state and not healing for some reason is definitely a surprise. That brings us to Soldier Boy, who appears to be a crucial element of the whole scenario. It's obvious that things aren't going as planned, and it's unclear how they'll emerge victorious. In any case, the cliffhanger ending offers a lot of room for the next episode, which promises to be full of twists and turns.